I'm Jenny, and I'm a UCM nursing student. And this is?
I'm Jessica. I'm a nursing student as well.
And we're here today to talk to you about labor breathing, and we are presenting this for our obstetrics class. And thank you so much for being with us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, this is my third pregnancy, and it's a girl, my first girl.
Oh, exciting.
And with my other two pregnancies, I've had an epidural with both of them. They both went really good.
Did they go for full term?
Yeah, both went full term.
Did you have any complications during those labor periods for your previous pregnancies?
My first one, I pushed for 3 hours. So then they had to do an episiotomy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing. I had to push for 3 hours with the first one. Second one, I pushed for 15 minutes.
That one's a lot quicker.
I was scared.
Tell us a little bit, definitely. Tell us a little bit about the techniques that you use to overcome and manage your pain and control level.
I did use breathing techniques. With my first one, I used the jacuzzi. I didn't like it, but other than that, I really liked it.
What didn't you like about it?
I don't know. I felt like, I don't know. I like it better walking than being laid down. You know, I felt like I was going to go into labor in this pool, and what if the baby comes? I don't know. It wasn't.
So it sounds like breathing has worked for you in the past, right?
Yeah.
The breathing techniques
Yeah.
and everything that you've used prior.
Okay, well, we wanted to tell you a little bit more about breathing that we've researched. And according to the American Pregnancy Association, pattern breathing simply means breathing at any number of possible rates and depth. The goal for you is to find a breathing pattern that calms and relaxes you. And some benefits to practicing pattern breathing, like on our chart here, is breathing becomes an automatic response to pain, and the mom remains in a more relaxed state and will respond more positively to pain. And then you have a steady rhythm of breathing is calming during labor, instead of breathing and hyperventilating. Provides a sense of well-being and a measure of control. It also provides more oxygen, which gives more strength and energy for the mother and baby, and it brings purpose to each contraction and makes it more productive. And pattern breathing and relaxation becomes habits for life of everyday stress. So it also not only helps for when you're in labor, if you have a stressful situation, you can slow your breathing.
And now we're going to go through actually every stage of labor for you and talk to you about the techniques that you can use for labor breathing and what to expect. And of course, you've already been through this, so you do know what already to expect. But with breathing, you noticed, or you mentioned that you had previous different breathing technique. So this may help you with learning something new you can use for your upcoming pregnancy.
And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to stop us and ask. It starts off with pre-labor. You may feel abdominal pelvic pressure, cramps, or even low back aches. You want to relax if you're having any contractions and try to breathe normally and slow early labor breathing. Don't overdo it because this is your time to conserve your energy and getting ready for what's ahead. And prior to this, you could practice breathing techniques. Like there's other classes you could take and all that good stuff. And then first stage of labor, phase 1, which is also early labor. You'll feel excited, ready for the baby, but also a little nervous. And you want to relax and breathe through any contractions and make sure you're in a good position that makes you feel comfortable. And then right here is a chart of how the breathing goes for the first phase of labor. You begin at the beginning of the contraction. You inhale a deep breath and then little breaths in between at the peak of your contraction, and then exhale completely. And then also in the second phase of the first stage of labor, which is active labor, you are working very hard. You feel the need to concentrate. You want to find a focal point of something that everything else is going around in the room. You want to focus on that crack of the wall or whatever it is. And then focus your breathing on that. That way you're not worried and concerned about everything going on around you. And then for active labor, at the beginning of the contraction, you inhale and you do the he-ha-ha pattern, which I don't know if you've heard of that previously. and several times through the peak of your contraction, and then a big deep breath and exhale. Okay, now we're going to start with the first stage of labor, phase 3, which is also known as the transition phase. This might be where you feel irritable, everybody's getting on your nerves, and you feel a lot of rectal pressure. You want to switch your breathing pattern to the transition breathing pattern. Take each contraction at a time, one at a time, and don't push. This time it's not the time to push. So you must pant or blow till the urge has passed, because you might have the urges to push. You definitely don't want to do that. So concentrate on relaxing, especially between your contractions. This is when you need to get rest once again. Try to keep breathing slowly and no hyperventilating, because that just wears yourself out even more. On the back side here, we have the transition breathing breath, where at the beginning of the contraction, you inhale deep, and then you do the he, ha, ha, ha twice, and then start panting through the peak of the contraction, and then a he, ha, ha, or he, ha, ha, and then another deep breath and exhale at the end of the contraction.
And then you're moving into second stage labor. This time is the pushing stage. You should be 100% effaced during this stage. Your cervix is going to be dilated to the 10 centimeters that you're wanting it to be at. And what you're going to feel at this time is you're going to have that urge to push, because now is the time. You're going to have variations between the urges to push. You have great relief when you do actually push. This time, to help yourself with this kind of pain and to do some pain control, you want to take 2 cleansing breaths. You want to have a long sustained pushes and rest between contractions, because you're going to need that energy between contractions. You want to still have some rest time. And if you have a coach, which I think you mentioned you've used a coach in the past, you want to pay really close attention to your coach during this period. It's going to be very helpful to listen to your coach. And you're still moving into pushing. This is continuation of the second stage labor. You're going to be very alert during this stage. You're going to actually have a new burst of energy to prepare your body for the demands of labor. You're going to be pushing harder, and may help you to cope with the pain. You're going to just really at this time, baby out. You just want to have that. You're going to be lying on your back, and you're going to pant or blow for birth of the baby's head. And you're going to push as directed for the baby's shoulders this time. And for the coached breathing, we have another diagram for you. And this time you're going to take an inhale at the beginning of the breath pattern, beginning of the contraction, and 2 inhales, and then during the push you'll notice that you're not taking, you're just a solid form there. So then after the pushing, you'll exhale big at the end of the contraction. And finally, the third stage of labor. This is just the time from the baby's birth to expulsion of the placenta. And it can be anywhere 5 to 10 minutes after the baby's birth. And you may or may not have contractions during this period. It depends. But you still want to respond to coaching through your coach, and at this time you'll start to be nursing. And we did find some research, evidence-based research findings on pattern breathing and the importance of it, as we mentioned before. In this sample size research study, 10 non-pharmacological pain measures were taken into account, and actually breathing techniques were the most effective found among women in the sample size. So it wasn't, like you said, that was your biggest helper, with your labor. So I think it is, based on evidence-based, something that is definitely helping with pain management. And it was number 1 before even massage, acupuncture, or other relaxation techniques. And pattern breathing exercises is going to promote your relaxation and also distract you from the discomforts of labor that we've mentioned. And pattern breathing is effective when learned and practiced in advance prior to the labor experience. So you can go and get more information at this website we provided for you. And this is the name of the study that was conducted, the Women's Evaluation of Intrapartum Non-Pharmacological Pain Relief Methods Used During Labor. And you can also read that article online. Well, thank you so much for coming. We actually wanted to ask you if you had any questions for us today about the material that we've covered in regards to anything that you noticed or you found interesting today.
I mean, I've used a lot of it. I didn't really use the breathing with the hee-hee or the hee-ha-ha. I just basically the deep breath in and then a deep exhale at the end. That's what I learned in my class. But I mean, I might try that. I don't know. You know, might help. So.
Can you tell us something that you learned that you never knew before besides the breathing, like anything that?
On the other side, there was over here with the on the phase 3. Is this when you're not dilated at that point, right? With the don't push or blow.
Yeah, you'll be dilated. Like even in the first stage of labor here, phase 1, this is when your cervix is dilated up to a 4.
Okay.
So,
And then phase 3 transition, it'll go to an 8 to a 10.
Yeah. And because in phase 2 you're 4 to 8, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I basically, with the doctors, I mean, they tell you not to push, but it's a hard thing not to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, using the breathing techniques, I'm definitely going to try the hee-ha-ha. I mean, I didn't learn that in my class, so.
The reason they don't want you to push is because, you know, when you're pushing, that's compressing the baby's head, and that can make the heart rate go down. And so when the uterus is contracting, that's when, does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Well, great. Thank you very much for coming and
Thank you.
taking time
Thank
out of your
you.
day. So, thank you.
Thank you.